No one ever told me that we're not supposed to be fat, sick, and not moving. Like, no one told me that. It's just these are the cards I was dealt, and I thought I was playing them to the best of my ability. And then once I got a taste that that could change, I just kept, whoa, I can do this. Whoa, I can do this. Why didn't anyone tell? My doctors told me I should be in a wheelchair or sitting in a chair. The whole food, plant-based lifestyle definitely saved me. It not only saved my life, but it gave me a completely new one. And every single aspect of my life has been changed for the better for it, spiritually, emotionally, and physically. I'm Tim Kaufman. I live in Eldon, New York, which is about 20 miles east of Buffalo. I grew up in a small farming community, and I went to a small high school where I met my high school sweetheart, who I've been married to 26 years this year. Most of us worked on farms after school, so I found a farm right across the street from my house. I kept getting hurt on the farm. I would lift up a bale of hay and my wrist would pop. It got worse and worse the older I got. I knew something, wasn't right. It wasn't just because I was a klutz, like I was getting hurt too often. So I went to see a doctor about it, and I was diagnosed with this disease called Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. The glue that holds my body together is like gum. It's really super stretchy. The instructions were to do as little as you possibly can, keep your body super still. But the one thing that did happen coming out of the hospital is I was prescribed painkillers. If you know anything about narcotics, the longer you take them, the less effective they are, and they never work as good as they did the first time. So I got tossed into the system where, the doctor kept upping the medicine. They were ready for me to just sit on the couch for the rest of my life. My doctor said, there's a drug out that I want to try with you, and it's called fentanyl. So basically I had a 24-hour drip of fentanyl into my body. And then along with that, we used all the other narcotics and opioids I was on as breakthrough drugs, or I can't even remember how many times I'd hear a doctor say, you have to stay ahead of the pain. It's almost embarrassing to say that the fast food garbage was that same kind of opioid effect to me. My normal day was fast food 4 times a day. We were ordering food out, pizza, chicken wings, the typical Buffalo cuisine. And we ate a ton of meat because we used to raise all our own meat. I used to hunt and fish a lot. The busier life got, the lazier we got with food, to where we never even cooked at home. And so the more terrible food that I ate and the less I did, obviously I started packing some serious weight on. And the whole thing was just a vicious cycle. It's easy for me to tell people what it's like to weigh 400 pounds, because I can just say, put the balance of my weight on your back and pick up your keys or go upstairs. But it is so hard for me to make people understand emotionally to be a young family man and watch a basketball roll by your feet knowing that you can't pick it up to throw back to your kid. I wanted to be a good husband, I wanted to be a good dad, but I didn't have the ability to do it.
Before, things were kind of rough. Like, Tim was ill, so, he would go to bed very early. I would be, normally finishing up, cleaning up, doing the things I needed to do, but I had so much more of a workload that I would be so tired at the end of the night. At
my very worst, a typical day, I would consume a liter of vodka. I was on the maximum dose of fentanyl. I would take about 20 opioid tablets and eat fast food about 4 times a day. So I was dealing with high blood pressure, high cholesterol, high sugar levels. My body was full of inflammation, and I was in pain 24 hours a day. And there were nights that I went to bed at night. I didn't know if I'd wake up in the morning. I don't know if I really cared, because I was just tired of being sick and in pain. Heather's mom hadn't been feeling well. She kind of had like a cold flu kind of thing that it wouldn't go away. And so we finally convinced her to go to the doctor. They rushed her right away to the hospital because she was diagnosed with leukemia. And it really shifted my perspective on life. And then watching my father go through his 6 weeks with cancer before he passed away, It made me see how precious life is. I think sitting at my dad's gravesite was probably a huge point in my life where I'm like, if there was a little bit of chance that I had to get better, that I wanted to take it, to not watching all the pain that Heather had with her mom. I didn't want her to have to go through that again with me. So even if I didn't want to change for myself, I started my change for Heather just to protect her. And I think it was my responsibility to do that. New Year's was coming up, so I ordered a juicer. And so I decided for 30 days that I would just consume vegetable and fruit juice out of this machine that I bought. Well, as I started the juice fast, the first 3 days were terrible. I was so hungry. I just felt like I couldn't get full. I've been used to eating my whole life, so this was a big change for me. But by the fourth day, I was almost ready to give up. And by the fourth day, I woke up in the morning. I wasn't hungry at all. And I'll never forget the fifth day. It was for me, it was a miracle. I actually woke up in the same place that I went to bed in the night before. I still get goosebumps talking about it because that was huge. That was all I wanted. I just wanted to be out of pain enough that I could sleep through a night. And as the fast went on, I was starting to notice 7 days into it, just 7 days, my energy was coming up. I felt like I wanted to actually do stuff. So by 20 days into the fast, I was doing really, really well. I knew that, this is really good, it's amazing, and I feel great, but at the same time, I can't do this the rest of my life. So my journey kind of continued from the 30 days that I thought it would be. I'm like, well, I can do this, and basically I'm just gonna eat what I'm juicing. And then we added, some grains to it and some starches. And the weight loss just kept going. I just kept feeling better and better and better. So basically, I cut out all the animal products from my diet, meat, dairy, and the processed stuff, like the sugars, the flours, and the oils. Once I started eating very colorful foods and foods that were alive, and not only eating fruits and vegetables, but getting rid of the animal products, my entire life changed. I started feeling better. I started having more energy. And one by one, all these chronic things that I had were dropping off. My blood pressure came down. My cholesterol went from 300 down to 112. So many good foods came in that it crowded the bad foods out. And when I eat, really good beans and kale and colorful vegetables and colorful peppers and fruits, I feel so good that my body just doesn't want all the animal products and the dead things. Being fueled by plants gives me all the energy that I need, that I kind of feel like I have to go burn off that energy. I started getting outside and I really started enjoying just taking a walk. And then I got to the point where I kind of felt a little skip in my step. And before you knew it, I was doing a little run walk. I just kept setting goals and fueling my body with better fuel. And before I knew it, I ran my first 5K and then a 10K. And I turned around one day and can run 50 miles. It was about just doing a little bit more than I had done the day before. I also really enjoyed my bike. I can go out and ride 50 miles. It gives me time to think, it gives me time to reflect. So I had the running and I had the biking, but I didn't know how to swim. And our coach at school said that he would teach me how to swim. And so then once I had the 3 disciplines, I signed up for Lake Placid. And what's really cool about the Lake Placid 78.3, that's kind of where my journey in fitness kind of began. It blew my mind that, here I am, just a guy that got on a bike one day. And as I parked my bike for transition, I came out for the run. And I actually lost it a few times because I couldn't stop thinking that I'm not supposed to be walking. And I'm on the same course as like some of the most elite athletes in the world. And they tell you that you're always supposed to picture the finish line, the whole time, because that's where you're trying to get. And I was picturing the finish line, but it wasn't the finish line that everyone thought I was picturing, because 20 foot on the other side of that finish line, Heather was waiting for me. And it was so cool to see her eyes. It made the whole race worth just seeing her eyes, because for years, her eyes were just full of sympathy, like that I was sick. And I looked in her eyes and they were just melted with pride. She was so proud of me for finishing. And that was my finish line. And that race was one of the best days of my life. Looking back, our marriage is totally revitalized.
With the whole food, plant-based lifestyle, we are so active and healthy that he gets up before I do, and he helps with the things around the house. He does lots of cooking, and it just has made our life so much easier and so much happier to be together as a couple.
We get in trouble with our kids because they say that we're acting like kids and we're never around anymore, but we get to go on adventures together and run together. And instead of, I had this vision of her pushing me in a wheelchair and we're out running races together, and I'm so grateful for that. We compartmentalize healthy, and it can't be like that. It has to be a holistic thing. So you can't heal one thing without healing everything. And I think what happened to me, my whole body got healed, along with my, emotional and spiritual and physical self, all got healed together. And I didn't have, need for the drugs and the alcohol, because I wasn't trying to escape anything anymore. I was trying to embrace life to its fullest. This isn't some kind of magical potion or some crazy formula. Anybody can do this. Anybody can change today. And my biggest message is there's always hope. I'm Tim Kaufman, and I have lost over 200 pounds, but more importantly, I've regained my health and I live a happy, healthy, and active life through a whole food, plant-based lifestyle. When I first started my journey, I was really worried about a bunch of things. Sometimes it was overwhelming. Would I have enough time? Was this going to cost more money? Would I even know how to do this stuff? Was I gonna have to eat salads the rest of my life? What about my friends? Would they think I'm a weirdo and just take off and leave me? So here are a few tips that helped me along in my journey. Hopefully they'll help you as well. The first thing is, find your why, the reason why you want to change. That reason should be really, really important to you. Not to fit in a bathing suit or to go on a cruise. It should be something that's really deeply attached to you. The second thing is, keep it simple. Find foods that you like that are easy to prepare. This doesn't have to be complicated. Find stuff that you like to eat and just repeat it. The third thing, make sure you focus on your next plate. Don't get overwhelmed with thinking so far out into the future that you quit. All you need to worry about is your next plate of food. The fourth thing is find an activity that you actually enjoy. It doesn't matter if it's hiking, swimming, biking, or even walking. Just find some kind of movement that you enjoy doing. The fifth thing is to focus on your health, not a number on a scale and not a size. If you get healthy, your weight loss is going to be a side effect and your health will improve because of it. The sixth thing is stop thinking. I spent most of my life thinking about what I was going to do, and it wasn't until I started doing something that I saw results. So don't think about it, just do it. I had kind of a shift into my thinking that, health is this luxury or is, what I need to do to stay healthy. But I feel like now People always say, you know, what motivates you to keep, I don't need motivation. I don't need to be motivated. I'm not motivated to go to work every day. I'm not motivated to pay my mortgage every month. I do these because I'm responsible for them. So if I don't pay my mortgage, I'm going to lose my home. I don't have to be motivated for it. And I don't have to be motivated to live the healthiest lifestyle I can live. It's my job to be healthy. And I know how to do it, and if I don't do it, then I'm not doing my job. We get so caught up into all the details. Well, it doesn't matter if it's food or fitness. We get so caught up in the details that we freak ourselves out, and then we get afraid. And for me, what's worked for me in the past is find a goal, you know, set the goal, and then figure out how we're going to get there. Understand that this is a journey. It's a simple one. It's not complicated, but that doesn't make it easy all the time. Understand that you're going to have troubles. Understand that you're going to hit adversity, but you have to be willing to get up every single morning and fight a new battle. Win or lose from the day before, get out of bed and fight again, because you're worth it. So at the end of the day, it's really as simple as eat plants, move your body. All you got to do is a little more than you did yesterday. I'm Tim Kaufman, and a whole food plant-based diet saved my life.